August 1968, Superstock and Drag Illustrated magazine tested every major muscle car and crowned a champion. Not the Hemi Road Runner, not the 427 Corvette, not the L78 Chevelle. The fastest muscle car of 1968 was a Mercury Cougar that almost nobody bought, and even fewer people remember today. The 1968 Mercury Cougar GT-E with the 428 Cobra Jet ran 13.23 seconds at 103 miles per hour in the quarter mile. Those numbers beat everything Detroit built that year, but Ford only made 37 of them with the 428 CJ before killing the GT-E package. Today, collectors chase Mustangs and Shelbys, while the Cougar that outran them all sits forgotten. Mercury introduced the Cougar in fall 1966 as the upscale Mustang. Same platform, 3 inches longer, completely unique sheet metal, sequential turn signals, hidden headlights, wood-trimmed interior. It cost more and weighed more, targeting buyers who wanted style without compromising comfort. For 1968, Mercury added the GT-E package with a 427 big block rated at 390 horsepower. That lasted 3 months. In April 1968, Ford replaced it with the brand new 428 Cobra Jet. The 428 CJ changed Ford performance. Born from Tasca Ford's complaints that the 390 couldn't compete, the Cobra Jet combined 427 heads, a 390 Police Interceptor intake, and a 735 CFM Holly. Ford rated it at 335 horsepower. Everyone knew that was fiction. The 428 CJ really made 400 horsepower. Insurance companies used factory ratings to set premiums, so manufacturers lied. The GT-E package cost $1,311 on top of the XR7's base price. You got the 428 CJ with Ram Air Standard, power steering, power front disc brakes, a competition handling package, quad exhaust tips, special badging, and a unique grille with hood scoop. Only 3 GT-E 428 CJ Cougars left the factory with 4-speed manuals. The rest got beefed up C6 automatics. Either way, you had a car that ran low 13 seconds. That 13.23 second pass made the GT-E the quickest factory muscle car tested in 1968. Quicker than the L78 Chevelle, quicker than the Hemi Road Runner, quicker than 428 CJ Mustangs. The heavier Cougar shouldn't have been faster, but the longer wheelbase helped it hook up better. Less weight transfer meant more traction. The Cougar also came with more sound deadening than the Mustang. You could drive to the strip, run competitive times, and drive home without feeling beaten up. Comfort and speed in one package. But almost nobody bought them. Ford built 394 total GT-E models for 1968. Of those, 357 had the 427 before the switch. That left just 37 with the Cobra Jet. Those production numbers made the GT-E rarer than most Shelbys. Yet today, Shelby GT 500s bring 6 figures, while GT-E Cougars trade for far less. The timing killed it. The GT-E launched in February 1968 with the 427. By April, Ford switched to the 428 CJ. The GT-E package disappeared after 1968. 3-month window to order one, then it was gone. Mercury brought back 428 CJ power for 1969 with the Eliminator package. Bold stripes, spoilers, blackout grills, competition colors. The Eliminator replaced the GT as Mercury's performance model, launching in April 1969 alongside the Boss 302 Mustang. Production stayed low. Mercury built 2,250 Eliminators for 1969. Most came with the 351 Windsor. Only 302 got the 428 Cobra Jet or Super Cobra Jet. Of those, just 3 had the SCJ with the drag pack option. 3 cars out of 2,250 total production. Period magazines tested 4 to 28 CJ Eliminators and recorded 13.90 second quarter miles. 0 to 60 came in 5.7 seconds. Trap speeds hit 101 miles per hour. Those numbers matched the competition, but the Eliminator cost more than a Mustang Mach 1 with the same engine. Base price started around $3,100, but the 428 CJ added $310. 4-speed cost $204. Power steering and brakes added more, push past $4,000 fully equipped. The 428 CJ Cougar weighed around 3,700 pounds depending on options. A comparable Mustang came in 200 pounds lighter. That weight disadvantage should have hurt, but the Cougar's longer wheelbase helped it launch harder. Better weight distribution meant better traction. The heavier car hooked up where lighter Mustangs spun tires through first gear. Ford's engineering paid dividends. The Cougar used the same competition handling package as the Mustang, but with modifications for extra weight, heavier springs, larger sway bars, beefed up shock towers. Not as nimble as a Mustang in tight corners, but more stable at high speeds and composed over rough pavement. The problem was perception. Buyers saw Mercury as the luxury division. Lincoln Mercury dealers catered to older customers who wanted comfort over performance. The Cougar's upscale image worked against it in the muscle car market. Younger buyers wanted Mustangs and Camaros. The Cougar felt like Dad's car, even with 4 to 28 cubic inches under the hood. Sales proved it. Ford sold over 18,000 428 CJ Mustangs from 1968 to 1970. Mercury moved maybe 2,000 total 428 CJ Cougars across all models. The Eliminator's 2,250 units in 1969 and 2,268 in 1970 barely registered compared to Mustang production. Even the GT-E's 394 total units got swamped by Shelby numbers. But for buyers who understood, the 428 CJ Cougar offered something unique. Park it at a nice restaurant and it looked appropriate. Take it to the strip and it ran with anything. Drive cross-country and you arrived comfortable, not beaten up. The gentleman's muscle car that did everything well. The XR7 package made it even better. Wood-trimmed dashboard, full instrumentation with black face gauges, toggle switches, overhead console, premium seats. The XR7 GT-E combined luxury appointments with drag strip performance in a way no other muscle car matched. Today, the market reflects the Cougar's forgotten status. A documented 1968 GT-E 428 CJ with XR7 package brought $208,000 at auction in 2015. Sounds impressive until you compare it to Shelby Money or Boss 429 prices. Clean Eliminators with 428 CJ engines trade in the $50,000 to $80,000 range. Nice examples without the big motor sell for less. The Rarity should drive prices higher. Only 37 GT-E models with the 428 CJ exist. Maybe half survive. The Eliminator had slightly better production, but 428 CJ examples remain extremely rare. Yet collectors chase Mustangs and pay premiums for cars that weren't as fast or as rare as the Cougar. The market hasn't caught up to what the 428 CJ Cougar represents. Parts availability explains part of the value gap. Mustang parts are everywhere. Reproduction companies make everything you need. Cougar-specific pieces are harder to find and cost more. Trim, badges, unique components lack the same reproduction support. That makes restoration more difficult and expensive. The collector base matters too. Mustang enthusiasts are everywhere. Cougar guys exist, but the community is smaller. Fewer potential buyers means softer demand. Lower demand means lower prices, even for genuinely rare cars. What the Cougar represents is Ford's high watermark in gentleman's performance. The 428 engine gave you legitimate muscle. The Cougar body gave you style and comfort. The combination worked better than it should have. A 3,700-pound luxury car shouldn't run 13.2 seconds in the quarter mile. It shouldn't hook up better than lighter competitors. But it did, because Ford's engineers built it right. They weren't building the lightest car or the rawest car. They were building a muscle car for adults who wanted performance without compromising livability. The 428 CJ made 335 horsepower on paper, 400 plus in reality. Power went through a beefed-up C6 automatic or close ratio 4-speed, 3.91 gears, with traction lock got power down. The competition handling package kept it pointed straight. Ram Air came standard on 1968 GT-E models. The functional hood scoop forced cold air into the Holly under full throttle. Period magazines praised the duality. Motor Trend appreciated the refinement. Car Life noted the performance. Superstock and Drag Illustrated crowned it fastest muscle car of 1968. But the press also criticized the price. At over $4,500 fully equipped, the GT-E cost more than a base Corvette. Mercury tried different strategies. The Eliminator brought bold graphics. The XR7 emphasized luxury. Standard Cougars targeted budget buyers. None sold in Mustang numbers. Total first-generation Cougar production from 1967 to 1970 hit 437,000 units. The Mustang sold over 1 million during the same period. Today's enthusiasts who discover the 428 CJ Cougar usually convert. The performance remains impressive. A properly sorted example still runs low 14 seconds on street tires. With drag radials, high 13s are achievable. The torque curve stays fat from 2,500 to 4,500 RPM. Power delivery is smooth everywhere. The biggest challenge is finding one. GT-Es are nearly impossible to locate. Eliminators show up occasionally at major auctions. Documentation matters. A Marty report verifies original specs. Matching numbers cars command premiums. The FE engine family makes parts availability decent for mechanicals. The 428 CJ shares parts with other FE engines. Body parts and Cougar trim cause problems. Reproduction companies focus on Mustangs. Cougar owners fabricate parts or modify Mustang pieces. The 428 Cobra Jet Cougar represents a road not taken. What if Ford had marketed it better? What if production numbers had been higher? We'll never know. But the cars proved the concept worked. Fast enough to win races, comfortable enough to drive daily, rare enough to be special. Everything worked except the sales numbers. Super Stock and Drag Illustrated got it right in August 1968. The fastest muscle car of the year wore a Mercury badge. It had sequential turn signals and wood trim. It cost more than a Mustang and weighed 200 pounds more, but it ran 13.23 at 103 miles per hour and beat everything else. Only 37 people bought the GT-E with the 428 CJ. A few thousand more bought Eliminators. They got the gentleman's muscle car that nobody remembers. The Cougar that outran the Mustang but lived in its shadow. Ford never built another car like it. The combination of refinement and power was unique to that moment. By 1971, emissions and insurance killed the muscle car era. The Cougar survived but lost its edge. Those 3 years from 1968 to 1970 were the glory days. Today, smart collectors are finding 4 to 28 CJ Cougars. The value gap makes them attractive. You get genuine rarity, documented performance, and a car most people have never seen. The market will eventually recognize what these cars represent. The gentleman's muscle car that beat everything in 1968. The luxury performance car that nobody bought. The Mercury Cougar 428 Cobra Jet that outran the Mustang. 37 built with the GT-E package. Fastest muscle car of 1968, forgotten by everyone except the people who know better.